We go right through. Please introduce yourself.
Okay. My name is Tey. I'm co-founder at Taiken.tech.
At what, sorry?
Taiken.tech.
Taiken.tech.
Yeah. Taiken in Japanese means supreme authority. And the technology that we use is somehow a supreme authority that tells you who you are and gives you your right for identity back.
Okay, so it's an identity project.
It's an identity project, yes.
And is this one of the self-sovereign identity projects?
Exactly. This is one of, we consider ourselves the only self-sovereign identity project. Basically, we incorporate top 3 principles from the 10 principles of self-sovereign identities. So what we miss from many people, many pitches, is people don't talk about what are the principles of self-sovereign identity. Top 3 that I want to mention today is portability, that you're able to carry your identity from place to place.
Yes.
Interoperability, that means your identity is able to communicate with different providers, with different services. And consent, that means any type of data that will be shared about you, the user must give consent for that. Those are the top 3 characteristics that we want to incorporate in our challenge today and in our use case and what Taiken does at its core services.
Okay, and what's the use case?
Today's case is about St. Martin. It's about the recovery mission in St. Martin. So as we know, Hurricane Irma has hit the island, and latest research is saying that natural disasters will happen more on a frequent basis. So we want to build a resilient community. And by building a resilient community, you need to give back the right of the people to exist. That means you need to work on their identities. So today, with the Red Cross, for example, when they are doing their great job at the island of helping people, we see that there is a food shelter program, there is a school program, there is a another aid program running. Beneficiaries, after being identified and being eligible for help, they have to queue at different places. So the same guy, he might need to have help from 3 aid programs. That means he needs to queue 3 times. That means 3 times lost the time and the money. So here we want to bring the concept of self-sovereign identities where the people of St. Martin, they will register themselves and the Red Cross will be our verification point. And they will say, yes, I know Ben, I've seen him and I've given him help. This data is registered and it's saved on the mobile phone of the beneficiary. Anytime that any NGO wants to offer services in the island, they can send this guy an SMS and say, well, we are here to give your children aid. How many children you have? So the privacy concept for many people is not yet a priority. But what we have noticed is refugees, beneficiaries, people in aid situations or in crisis situations, they care about their privacy. So for Syrian refugees, for example, we care that we don't want our data to go back to the Syrian government.
No, I can imagine.
Yeah. So the same thing with beneficiaries in St. Martin, they care that their data is not being sold in the market later. How can we stop that from happening? Here where self-sovereign identities come to help.
Okay, and the data, they exist only on the smartphone, or?
The data is on their phone. We are assuming today in the challenge that the people on St. Martin, they have smartphones. Actually, we met one of the St. Martin government delegates in The Hague, and we asked him how is the smartphone penetration in your island? And they mentioned that don't think St. Martin is a third world country.
No.
There is smartphones there is internet, we have services. It is only the infrastructure was relatively okay, it was good, but the disaster, the power of the hurricane caused this disaster. 95% of the island is destroyed, so what can you expect?
Okay. And where does the blockchain come in this concept?
The blockchain is coming in this concept. We call it the distributed ledger technology. So we're able to register the consent receipts of the data being shared. This is one. We're able to create a public key, private key infrastructure that relates to the person himself without exposing his personal details. So we protect who you are, and using zero knowledge proofs, we are able to prove what you have without sharing this piece of information. So if I'm a millionaire and you're a millionaire and we want to know which one of us has more than 20 million. I know that
you win.
Yeah. So here we use zero knowledge proofs to attest on that event without exposing my bank account and without exposing your bank account.
Yeah. I understand. And when the refugee on St. Martin, when he loses his phone, or what happens then?
That's the challenge we're focusing on today. When the beneficiary in St. Martin is losing his phone, we are applying what we call Shamir secret sharing. That means, just like your home, it has a key to enter. This phone has a key that relates to your identity. We are able to break that key into 3 or 4 or 5 pieces, and we share it with witnesses or with people you trust. People who you think that at a point in time, if you ask them for help, they will help you. With sharing a secret with them, once you call him and you have on your phone, let's say, a backup option or recovery option, and then the menu will open. And you will say, okay, by default, Red Cross has a key. They will share it with you automatically. But the other 3 options, you have to choose. So maybe you will choose your church leader, maybe you will choose your teacher, one of your family members, brothers, wife. So we keep up that to the person himself. Now
all the keys are needed to restore.
Definitely. Here we can say 3 out of 5, those 3 out of 5 is needed to restore your private key. There is a user experience challenge. Unfortunately, we are in this location today that we cannot be there in St. Martin today and solve that problem for real. But we're working on the infrastructure and the technology. So when we go to St. Martin in June or July, we're able to build an interface and the front end that suits the needs of that community.
Brilliant, brilliant. Okay, will you be finished by tomorrow afternoon?
Definitely. We will have some 6 to 10 liters of Red Bull tonight to pump up the team. But we're really happy to participate first of thing with Rutger and the Blockchaingers, because it's a great opportunity for us to meet other people, to meet the experts, talk with the Jedis. We talked with Vinay Gupta and we got some really interesting insights on identities and what is identity in fact. And one of the aha moments that we had is the students of Groningen, they share something with the people of St. Martin and with the refugees from Syria, which is privacy.
Of course.
So we found out that during the referendum on the Snoop law, the slave vet law, they mentioned that they care about their privacy. And 90% of the people, they voted, not of the people, of the students actually, they voted against that law. If this is telling us something, is that we have now a group in Groningen that loves their privacy, they want to have a digital identity, and they have smartphones.
So that's a perfect test population.
Exactly. Where can we test that population, and where can we test this idea? In festivals. Groningen hosts the best festivals in the Netherlands, and they have the largest concentration of students in the Netherlands. So if we are able to take our first 100 users to be the Groningen students, where they go to a festival and they check in the festival with a digital app that tells the festival owner or the festival organizer that he's above 18 or under 18 in a privacy compliant manner, in a manner that just like the Red Cross is verifying beneficiaries, universities can verify students on their phones, and students can use that service to go to a festival, have a quick access to a festival and not queue online. So just like the beneficiary in St. Martin doesn't want to queue online, student in Groningen doesn't want to queue online to go to a festival.
Brilliant. You're aware of the InnoFest program?
Exactly, and this is the InnoFest program. I want to thank them today on your channel, because they were actually the people to give us this piece of information, and we are in talks with them now to, after this hackathon, hopefully if we win, we have a stronger position to run this program in the Netherlands.
Brilliant. I wish you all the luck.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Thanks,
Thank you.
Thank you.